Mahadev, 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 Mahadev. Om, Om, Yo Brahmanam, Vidadhati Purvam, Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai, Tamha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham, Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vanshashibhyo Mahadhyo Namo Gurubhya Sarvopaklavarahitāh Prajñānaghanah Pratyagartho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Vedantartha-vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Sangha-pavaye Yogindra-vandyaya cha Mohatvanta-divakaraya Bhagavat-pada-vidham Vidrate Tasmai Bhashyakrite Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. Yasya nishvasitam vedaha yo vedebhyo khilam jagat nirmametamaham vande vidyatirthamaheshwaram vidyatirthamaheshwaram. अथ योगिनां परमहंसानां कोयम मार्गः. The Upanishad, Paramahamsa Upanishad, opens up with a question from Devarshi Narada. Narada is a very brilliant character in the Upanishads. He represents an intense student at some places. In present Upanishad, he comes as a student, as a disciple to Parameshthi, to Chaturmukha Brahma, Prajapati, and he requests him to answer some questions. And this question is pertaining to the path of the Paramahamsa yogi. So the question is, Atha yoginam paramahamsanam koyam margaha. Yoginam cha paramahamsanam cha, it is not like that. Yoginam paramahamsanam koyam margaha. So it means of these Paramahamsa yogis, what is the path of the Paramahamsa yogis, those who are Paramahamsa yogis. So now those two words are not indicating two sets of people, the yogis and the Paramahamsas. In fact, it is talking about the Paramahamsa who is a yogi. So therefore, what is the path? Now, in the discussion on the question itself, Vidyaranya Swami says that what must be the purpose of having these two words together as the one acting as the adjective and the other as the substantive. So the word yoginam is an adjective to the Paramahamsanam. So like the word red rose. Now red rose, the word red is an adjective to the word rose. So the word rose has its function in cognition of whatever is being spoken. Both the words play their own roles. We must know how the language is able to frame our knowledge, understanding, cognition. So the word, when the word rose is spoken, it eliminates every other object and exclusively shows only the object rose. Jasmine, lotus, hibiscus, all these other flowers are rejected. And only rose is chosen. Now, after doing that, now rose, this word has done the function, its own function of eliminating all others. And that what is Vyavrittam is only shown. Now, so also there is another function which is accomplished by the word rose or red. What does red do over here? It is not going to eliminate jasmine and lotus, etc. It will eliminate yellow, white, pink, etc. So now, when you are going to say red rose, you have eliminated all other flowers as well as roses of other colors. And just red rose is now the object of your cognition. Okay. So there is a function of every word that is employed in the sentence. So over here, the adjective also has its own function. The substantive also has its own function. Just hold on. Has its own function. Therefore, Paramahamsanam, Yoginam Paramahamsanam, Koyam Margaha. What is the path of the Paramahamsa yogis? Or what is the path of the yogi Paramahamsas? This is a better translation. Because the word yogi goes as the adjective to the Paramahamsa. In fact, both of them will act. So what is the function of both these words is now taken for discussion. He says, Kevala Paramahamsam cha varayitum padadvayam uktam. Okay. Now, the reason why these two words are kept over there are in the sentences Kevala Paramahamsam cha varayitum padadvayam uktam. One could have understood that to eliminate the understanding that he's asking the path about of the sannyasis. Paramahamsa is a sannyasi, basically a sannyasi, but a Paramahamsa sannyasi. So, the one who is endowed with very intense vairagya and who wants moksha in this very life, who wants moksha, not there is not even one stage, a delay of one stage of going to the Brahmaloka and then getting liberated along with all the along with the Hiranyagarbha is not what he wants, but he wants moksha alone. So they are called as Paramahamsas. Those with the strength of, on the strength of upasana, then attain Brahmaloka. They do not come back into any other form of life. Okay, but as in the from the Brahmaloka, at the end of the time cycle, they will be all released with Hiranyagarbha, and that is called as Krama Mukti. So those who are Krama Mukti Bhashana, which means now those who are qualified for Krama Mukti will go to Brahmaloka. And how do they gain that qualification of going to Brahmaloka? Brahmaloka is not like the ordinary celestial worlds where a person is lodged. The jiva is lodged for a pleasant stay. Okay, for the punya bhoga. Over there, in the Brahmaloka, all those who go will remain absorbed in samadhi, being instructed by Prajapati Brahma, the one who is giving this knowledge to Narada over here, will give the knowledge even to those people and they will be liberated. So that is called as Krama Mukti. So the Hamsa Sannyasi, Paramahamsa, the Hamsa Sannyasi goes to Brahmaloka. So he is also endowed with intense Vairagya, Tivra Vairagya, but the Paramahamsa is endowed with Tivra Tara Vairagya, and he is not even he does not even want to qualify himself for Krama Mukti, but he wants Mukti in this very life. Okay, that is why they are called as Paramahamsas. Now, Poyam Margaha, now to eliminate that possible understanding raised by the word Paramahamsa, that means just Paramahamsas, the sentence is having the word yogi also. So, Kevala Paramahamsam cha Varayitum Padatvayam Uktam. Kevala yogi Tatvajnana Trikala Akashadi Gamanadishu Yoga Ishwarya Chamatkara Vyavahareshu Asaktaha Sanyama Visheshaihi Tatra Udyamte. Now, those who are, so the Paramahamsa, by the strength of his knowledge, will attain Videha Kaivalya. Definitely. But he is not Jivan Mukta. He will become Mukta. And the knowledge has taken place, which means there is no further link of transmigration. Janma Punarjanma is not going to be there. Okay. Samsaran Mukto Bhavati. Then Kevala Yogi, but what about Kevala Yogi? The one who is just a yogi. So that Kevala Yogi is, he does not have knowledge. Atma is Brahman. What does he have? He has Samadhi. He has samadhi, but what happens with him? Kevala yogi tattvajnana bhavena, because there is absence of tattvajnanam, of this knowledge of reality. Trikala jnana. What happens to him? He is still in the realm of the relativity, huh? In the relative world. So therefore now he has various powers which are yoga janya. These powers, how are they? They are born from his practice of samadhi. Like he has the knowledge of the past, present, and future. So he looks at a person, he knows his past birth, future birth, what is he doing now. All these things also can be known. That it is possible. Trikala jnana, akashagamanadishu. Now he can even travel in the space. Gamanadishu. Yoga Ishwarya Chamatkara Vyavahareshu Asaktaha. And then he is engaged only in the splendor, he is engulfed in the splendor of that yoga. Asaktaha, he is asakta, attached to that splendor of yoga. Chamatkar Vyavahareshu, in various transactions of unusual occurrences. Okay, surprises of wonderment, and therefore chamatkar, sanyama visheshaihi tatra tatra udyumte, and therefore he is engaged. Udyumte udyogam karoti. So he is engaged only in various sanyamas. So trayamekatra sanyamaha. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi is called as sanyama. By doing this dharana, dhyana, samadhi in various objects, these various powers arise in a person. So this yogi who is bereft of knowledge, who does not have knowledge, because that he has not strived over there in that direction, what happens to him? He is now consumed only by the splendor of yogic powers. Tataha Paramapurusharthat Bhrashto Bhavati, and therefore this yogi, so the Kevala yogi, Kevala Paramahamsa Bhrashto na Bhavati, he has Videha Kaivalyam, knowledge is there. But what happens to the yogi? That this yogi, because he does not have knowledge, but definitely has samadhi, now misses what? The Paramapurushartha, the highest gain of life. Okay, Paramapurusharthat Bhrashto Bhavati. Asmin Arthe Sutrameva Sutram Purvameva Udaratam. And we have already given the quotation of a Yoga Sutra pertaining to this topic earlier. Purvameva Udaratam. What is that? Te Samadau Upasarga Vyuthane Siddhayaha. Now, such asakti is what only will become an obstacle to this samadhi. When this yogi now gets attached and he himself now is what do they say, awestruck with his powers that he has gained, will become an obstacle for his progress in samadhi. But during the Vyuthana state, during the state of this transactions, etc., it will become what? It will act like these siddhis, the various powers. Now, Kevala Paramahamsastu, but the one who is just Paramahamsa, he is not engaging himself in Samadhi yet. So Kevala Paramahamsastu Tattva Vivekena Aishwaryeshu Asaratam Buddha Virajyati. The Kevala Paramahamsa, or Kevala Paramahamsa means the one who is just a Paramahamsa. which means not a yogi. What happens to him? He, on the strength of his discriminative understanding, okay, tattva vivekena, and because of that viveka, tattva viveka, aishvaryeshu, uh, now asaratam buddha, he is able to understand, comprehend, ascertain that this is all non-essential. Asaratam, it does not have any essence. It is all because now Tattva Viveka says that everything other than Atma he is able to see is only an appearance. Now, whatever that may appear to you here as the world appears as the source of happiness and as real because it is the nature of the self because of which the world appears as the source of joy or as real. Just as in the case of snake and the rope, the snake, which is only an appearance, now when experienced, you are going to see the snake as existing, as real. This is a snake. So now that isness is indicating that it is existing in the word, in the sentence. This is a snake. That the word that is. What is that showing? Existence. It is associated with existence. There is a satta sambandha with it. So now the question comes, the snake, how does it become associated with existence and appears real? So only that which is associated with existence, then you are going to say as real. So it is not that the snake is there, but what is there is rope. The reality of the rope is superimposed on the snake. The reality of the snake, rope is reflected, expressed in the snake, and the snake now becomes an object of your experience as real, as is. This is a snake. Like that, the whole world of all names and forms, with their functions, with their powers, with their uh, 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 everything, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Karma, attributes, etc., functions, attributes, powers, the whole world here seems to be appearing as real only because of the self, which is the substratum of all the names and forms. This is what the Paramahamsa knows. He is able to see that, and therefore his vision is able to break through, is able to tear off the appearance and is able to see the reality. And therefore, that what is only an appearance, the names and forms, is given up. He sees that as what? As only non-essential asar, and that what is essence is held by him. So he has tattva viveka. Therefore, this Paramahamsa never ever gets involved with this powers, etc. of the yoga. So this is what is said. Kevala Paramahamsastu tattva vivekena aishvaryeshu asaratam buddha virajyati. He overcomes, he becomes dispassionate about it. Now you do not, one does not get infatuated with something that is cognized as unreal. Now let us say that somebody falls in love with this girl, that with a girl, and then he's extremely attracted and he's ready to even give up his life for her and etc. And then he wakes up. He wakes up because that was only dream. Now he knows that the girl that he was ready to give up his life for her, was only an appearance. Now will he get up from the dream? Now, and will he go and stand on the top of the building, jump because he cannot find her? Now he knows that the girl that I fell in love with, that I was infatuated with, was only an appearance. It was only a dream. He does not fall for her. Asaratam drishtva. So that infatuation does not continue. He just says that it was a pleasant experience, nice, but it was not real. Now he gives it a complete discount, 100%. It can be wiped off. Like that, the Paramahansa now knows it as to be an appearance. He does not buddha virachati. He becomes dispassionate about it. Tadapi udaritam. That is also now said where in the Yoga Vasishtha. What does Vasishtha Rishi say? Chidatmana ima itham praspurantiha shaktayah ityashcharyajaleshu nabhyudeti kutuhalam. And now even the casual curiosity or even ashcharya does not rise in the yogi regarding this ashcharya jala. The casual curiosity also does not come into him by looking at these things which is a web of surprisement, of wonderment. Rest of the people will be surprised. Oh, Akashagamanam, Trikadashyanam, all these things may make a person feel surprised, wondered, but this Paramahansa does not. Why? Chidatmana imaitham. All this is rising from the self and not from these names and forms. So knowing that, and this is what is to be really known or should be known, and is the real, knowing it or wanting to know just that which is the sense, the Paramahamsa, what happens to him? Buddha virajyati. He becomes dispassionate about it. Viraktopi asau Brahma Vidya Bharena Vidinishedhau Ullanghayate, though he is Virakta. Now the fact is that he is Virakta, because the basic condition for a Paramahamsa is he should be having Tivratara Vairagya. So he has Vairagya. Viraktaha Pyasau, though he is Virakta. And then he is laden with this Brahma Vidya. Okay. Now, this is nothing of this should be ever spoken in any derogatory terms or in a condescending manner. That these people are only having knowledge. Other than knowledge, what is there? What foolishness should be had? Because a lot of people go into this kind of a mockery of knowledge. They are only having this knowledge, intellectual knowledge. Then what? Other knowledge is what? Swami Dayanandji says, do you have any knowledge like, knowledge of the little finger? Knowledge is always intellectual. What else do you expect about knowledge? Knowledge means understanding. Knowledge means clarity. And knowledge without any doubt and contradiction itself is called as experience. What else is experience? You tell us. The knowledge in which there is no more doubt or contradiction is called as experience. Oh, they have knowledge, they don't have experience. What do you mean by that? So this is only intellectual knowledge, not experiential knowledge. All such nonsensical things. So he has knowledge. we don't have knowledge, but we have experience, which means that you do not have knowledge, means whatever you have is only foolishness. Because if there is no knowledge, that means you have only ignorance. You can glorify that ignorance with foolishness with various names. Oh, we are mystical and mystical experience and all that. But this is just another just silliness of life. Therefore, this Paramahamsa, though he is Paramahamsa and Kevala Paramahamsa, we are not going to look down upon him. He may not be absorbed in Samadhi, that is a different case. And that Samadhi for a Paramahamsa is essential for Jivan Mukti. But that does not mean that this Paramahamsa, his knowledge anywhere is berated. It does not mean that he is not Mukti Bhajanar. He will have Videha Kaivalyam. That is, he is Parama and he is endowed with Tivratara Vairagya. This is, so we are not dealing with anything ordinary that should be just easily mocked down upon. No, this is not acceptable to the Shastra. Kevala Paramahamsa, where is that? Viraktopyasau Vidyabharena. Now he is, because of that Vidyabhara, what may happen? Vidhinishedhau Kullanghayati. He may transgress the rules and regulations of the do's and don'ts of the transactions. The world is all just transactions. He would. So this Kevala Paramahamsa Vidhinishedhau Ullanghayati, because Virakta Piyasau. So he does not cross the limits of what do they call transactions, which means he crosses the limits of transactions does not mean that he goes into aniti, something that is unethical and immoral. No, he will not, because he is virakta. Then what vidhinisheda he will transcend over here? The general rules, the worldly rules, etc. He may. Vidyabharena, Brahma Vidyabharena, Vidhinisheda Ullanghayati. Taduktam. It is said. Nistraye gunye pati vicharatam ko vidhi ko nishedha iti. Because it is said, declared, that the one who walks on this path of transcending the three gunas, Nistraye gunye pati vicharatam ko vidhi ko nishedha. There is no prescribed do's and don'ts. Okay, over there. Ko vidhi ko nishedha. Tatha cha shraddhalavaha shishtaha tameva nindanti. Now those who are going to follow the scriptures, etc., shraddhalavaha, and those who know how to conduct themselves according to the scriptures, shishtaha tameva nindanti. Now they censure such behavior. Sarve Brahmavadish. And what do these people say? Sarve Brahmavadishyanti samprapte tu kalau yuke nanutishtanti maitreya shishno daraparayanaha iti. So these, the shishtaha, those who follow the scriptural way of life, they say that all people over here now are going to talk about Brahman, that Atma is everything, and that's why even people who are not qualified for it will also get into that, into that parade, and they will also start saying, so everything is Brahman, everything is God, everything is okay, that's why do whatever you want. Do whatever you want is not the thing. Do whatever you want means that just follow the course of your desires. Is that what is the meaning of Atma is Brahman and the world is Brahman, saying that? Sarve Brahmavadishyanti samprapte. In fact, when people start justifying their desires, ambitions, shortfalls, kama, krodha, as this is my prasad, this is my blessing to you, and this is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. That's why I am Brahman, you are Brahman. So we can do whatever we want. Such kind of licentiousness, when is justified through scriptures, then understand this is Kali Yuga. Samprapte tu Kalau Yuge Nanutishtanti Maitreya. They do not, Nanutishtanti, they do not get established in the knowledge, but use these words only to justify their licentiousness when Kali Yuga comes. So actually, when Kali Yuga comes, means it is an indication of Kali Yuga. When we start justifying our shortfalls as everything is okay through just by the scriptures, which are an aid to overcome the shortfalls, then understand it is Kali Yuga. But actually speaking, such people are what? Shishnodara Parayana. They are people only committed to lust and appeasement of their senses. Udara means filling their stomachs, nothing more. Yogine tu paramahamse yathoktam doshatvayam nasti. So doshadvayam have been shown. These the dual defects. What is that? First one is the yogi misses the Paramapurushartha. The Kevala yogi, the one who is just exclusively involved in samadhi and the splendorous powers of samadhi, such a Kevala yogi, which means who is just a yogi, because of his involvement and attachment to those splendorous powers of yoga, he misses what? He misses the highest gain of life. Paramapurushartha is missed by them. Then the Paramahamsa, who, because he transcends certain worldly rules, etc., then what happens? He becomes an object of censure. He becomes an object of ninda, is the dosha. He becomes the object of censure from the people who have faith in the scriptures, which means who live their life righteously. This is the doshadvayam. This is the doshadvayam. So sometimes this Paramahamsa, let us say, because of his knowledge, now he is in that viveka, forgets to take bath. Now the other people around are going to say, look here, this is how these Brahmajnanis are. They don't even know how to take bath. You take bath, stay clean. All mosquitoes and flies are hovering around, and this is called Brahmajnanam. Looks like a pashu. So this is the censure. This is the censure. But in case, so Paramahamsa by himself, because he is endowed with Paramavairagya, do not ever say that this is how great masters also live and they do whatever they want. Whatever they want is not the thing. Whatever they want means whatever is their desire. And what desire are you talking? Does not have any desire, and hence he is a Paramahamsa. But certain transactions, I mean, all the transactions should be are conducted by their rules. And those rules means the do's and don'ts, the prescribed way, and the what do they say? prohibitions, the prescriptions and prohibitions. These are the rules which govern the transaction. So generally, this is what is then ignored by him. By whom? By Kevala Paramahamsa. And that's why he becomes an object of censure. So being censured by the Shraddhalavaha, by the Shishtas, by people who follow the righteous way, because he is, because of his greatness, this Paramahamsa is going to be copied, he is going to be idealized by rest of the people. And then, oh, he does not take part, so we will also remain like that. The rest of the fools will also do that. So then it becomes no, not like that. How your transactions have to be conducted by the rules laid down by the scriptures, and that will lead, that is life of righteousness. Okay, scriptural life is life of righteousness. So now this dosha dvayam, there are these two doshas, two defects. One is with the Kevala Yogi and one is with Kevala Paramahamsa. What happens over here in the Paramahamsa, who is a yogi, this dosha dvayam, these two defects will not be there. These two defects will not be there. Okay. And therefore, those words are used in one sentence as adjective and substantive in the question. Yogini tu Paramahamsa yathoktam doshadvayam nasti. So the yogi who is a Paramahamsa, in that such a Paramahamsa, this who is, so these two doshas are not there. Yogini is not feminine, that is Saptami Vibhakti. So in the yogi, otherwise you will think it. And if it was to be feminine, it will be dirgha, it will be long vowel, yogini. It will not be yogini. Asmin ha anyopi asti atishayaha prashnottarabhyam darshitaha. There are some more atishaya, what do they say, greatness. There is some other greatnesses. Asti atishaya. There is some other greatness also about the yogi Paramahamsa, and it is indicated through the question and answers between Rama and Vasishtha again. So Shri Rama, evam sthitepi bhagavan जीवन मुक्तस्य सन्मतेः अपूर्वोतिशयकोऽसौ भवत्यात्मविदां वर. O Atmavidam Vara, O foremost amongst the knowers of the self. So he is addressing his teacher as the foremost teacher, the most, what do they say? Expert teacher in the Atma Jnanam, Atmavidam Vara, the foremost amongst all the knowers of the self. Evam sthitepi bhagavan jivan muktasya sanmatehe. About this jivan mukta, who is endowed with this great intelligence, sanmatehe, apurva atishayako asau. What is that apurva atishaya? What is that excellence which is uncommon, which is apurvaha, which is not there in others? Okay, You say that he is very generous. Oh, even Karna is generous. Huh? Then he is very compassionate. Then there is somebody else also who is very, very compassionate. So you, of course, these are great qualities and they are there in this Paramahamsa yogi. But what is that apurva atishaya? What is that which is an excellent quality, which is which is just there only in the Jivan Mukta and not to be found anywhere else? Apurvatishayaha. Ko asau bhavati. So Vasishtha says, Vasishtha answers, he says Vasishtha. यस्य कस्मिंश्चिदप्येष भवत्यतिशयेन धीः नित्यतृप्तः प्रशान्तात्मा स आत्मन्येव तिष्ठति यस्य कस्मिंश्चिदप्येष भवत्यतिशयेन धीः. The knower, that knower means now he who knows Atma is Brahman. So now we have to say he is Brahmajnani. Of this Brahmajnani, what happens? Of this Jivan Mukta, Kasminshchidapi Esha Atishaye Thi Na Bhavati. His mind does not turn in or gets attached to any form of excellences, any Atishaya, because he is Nitya Tripta. Nitya Triptaha Prashantatma. He is forever, always content. His contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment does not crack even for a second. Nitya Triptaha Prashantatma, and he is peaceful and intensely peaceful. Prashantatma. Sa Atmani eva tishtati, and he abides in the self alone. Atmani eva tishtati. So in the first bow, he says that he does not attach any importance to any form of atishaya, any form of excellence. Atishaye nadhi. मंत्र सिद्धैस्तपस्सिद्धैः योग सिद्धैश्च भूरिशः कृतमाकाशयानादि तत्र का स्यादपूर्वतः. Now this traveling in this space or appearing in one place and another place simultaneously, etc., or Trikala Jnanam is already there in several yogis. Those in several siddhas, those who have accomplished, and these accomplishments can be due to samadhi, can be due to tapa, their austerities, or can be due to the mantra. And so there are these things which are seen in other people, in other yogis too. So it cannot be called as an apurvata. If you are going to say, well, the Atmajnani, he was able to know past, present, big deal. That is also known even to these, some mantra siddha, tapas siddha, or samadhi siddha. So what is there in this Brahmajnani? It is not apurva, it is there in others too. It cannot be called as an apurva atishaya. But he says, there is one thing which is distinct about the Brahmajnani, who is a yogi, Paramahamsa yogi. There is one distinct thing which cannot be found in any yogi or just the Kevala Paramahamsa, Kevala yogi or Kevala Paramahamsa or anyone. It cannot be, it will be there only in the Jivan Mukta. And what is that? Ekaiva Visheshosya na samo mudha buddhibhihi sarvatrastha parityagan niragam amalam manaha. Ekavisheshaha, and it na samaha mudha buddhibhihi, which cannot be compared, which is not equal to people with mudha buddhi, those whose intelligence is deluded. Mudha buddhi. What is that? Sarvatrastha parityagi. And he has given up every form of astha. How does he translate the word astha? Sarvatrastha. Let us say, for now, that astha would mean uh, any form of importance. Okay, I will identify a proper thing for it, but does not attach any importance to anything. Anything means now all any names and forms, whether it is a king or an emperor, prime minister or a president, does not, because all the names and forms are just an appearance on the self. And therefore, sarvatrastha parityagan, because of this reason, niragam amalam manaha, his mind is totally free from any stain and is therefore pure. This pure mind is the only distinction of the Jivan Mukta Paramahamsa Yogi. This pure mind, which is free from any stain, niragam, amalam manaha. This is his. This is his distinction. Atishaya. एतावदेव एतावदेव खलु लिंगम लिंगमूर्ते संशांत संसृति चिरभ्रम निवृत्ति निर्वृतस्य दर्शनस्य यन्मदनकोप विषादमोह लोभापदामनुदितं निपुणं तनुत्वम् एतावदेव खलु लिंगम अलिंगमूर्तेः. This indeed is the only indication of that Jivan Mukta who is free from all indications, who does not have any indication. Alingamurte Samshanta Samsruti Chirabhrama Nirvritasya, and he is how? Samshanta Samsruti. Samsruti means samsara, the stream of misery. Let us call it stream of misery, life and death, janma punarjanma. Okay, janma marana chakra. Samshanta, what has happened to this cycle of the misery? It is well doused. Samshanta. Samyak prakarena, it has been doused, which means it will not rise again. Not that this wheel of misery has just reduced its speed, but now that wheel of misery is completely, it is paused. Samshant, in fact, it is broken, and that's why it will not rotate anymore. It will not spin any further. Samshanta samsriti chirabhrama nirvritasya, and it was which was there for this delusion of misery which had stood for long time. Okay, is samshant, is pacified, is has been paused, not paused, is broken, and therefore nirvritasya. Because of this, he has attained immense happiness, nirvrataha, he is totally satisfied. Tashyasya, and what happens about him, about this Brahmajnani, about this Jivan Mukta, yad madana kopa vishada moha. Madana means lust, kopa. Kopa is anger, vishada is despair, moha is delusion, lobha is greed, padam anudinam. Every following day, what is seen is that he nipunam, nipunam tanutvam. It has become extremely, it goes becoming extremely weaker and weaker, and not, it is not seen. It is not seen by the world, it is not even felt by him. That is the nipunatvam. Being there and wanting to hide it from the world is not nipunatvam. That it is only an expertise in hypocrisy. Not there is not seen by the world does not mean that it is not there. It is not even felt by him. That is that tanutvam. This is the distinction of that Paramahamsa yogi. So dosha dvayam nasti. Where? In the Jivan Mukta. So that's why, in order to make it very clear, the question itself that is asked is yoginam paramahamsanam. Yoginam paramahamsanam koyam margaha. What is the path of the paramahamsa yogi? That's why these two words serve as the adjective and substantive to each other. Okay, that is what is said. Let us see more of this when we meet tomorrow. Om Yasya Nishvasitam Vedaha Yo Vedebhyo Khilan Chagat Nirmame Tamaham Vande Vidyatirtha Maheshwaram. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Padarayanam Sutrabhashikratho Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you all.